Hello, and welcome to my object-oriented programming Dungeon Explorer video. I will be discussing my code, how it shows object-oriented features throughout, how I handled errors, and how the game runs. In the code, I displayed encapsulation when using namespace throughout the files to bundle and organize my data. This made the code easier to follow by using this throughout. Within the namespace, getters and setters allowed for me to retrieve and assign values to different variables, such as player health, monster health, and other things like damage. Then, the use of public and private meant that the code could only be accessed to classes that it would be useful for to minimize the cluster and further encapsulating the code. Keeping the code non-clustered would then allow for easier improvements further on, as everything has clear links and isn't jumbled together. In the code, inheritance was used between the creature class and then the monster and player classes. These child classes can pull information and features from the parent class. So, in this instance, the player or monster can pull features such as health, a name, an attack or damage from the creature class. This is made easier by the encapsulations throughout the code, but the inheritance allows for a very easy to read turn-by-turn combat code. Polymorphism is also displayed in the code, as items throughout that can be put into an inventory have subclasses of their own, such as different types of an item, like weapons, or different items entirely that fit into the same item and inventory. This allows items to have different functions in the game, but organized easily into the inventory feature the game provides. These subclasses, like weapons and modifiers, all fit into the item class, which makes it very easy to sort through this code and would be easy to add more features later on. For my error handling, I used both console writeline and testing debug in my code. These checked for invalid inputs and errors. Also, the use of console writeline throughout the entire code allowed the checking of errors through the flow of execution, which made error checking a lot easier as breakpoints could be used to better identify where any errors are present. Also, in the built-in debug feature in VS Code 22 meant that my code would not run if any errors were present that would affect how the code ran, and would identify where the potential issue may be. So this is my code in the console. This is how it actually works. It begins with a start screen prompting the user to make an input to continue. The text at the top then sets the scene, trying to begin a story and set. A menu is provided to show what actions can be carried out. Showing how the code works, I press the first option to check the room for any items, and each room has a different set of items. These items can be picked up and are put into your inventory. Then, using the menu again, you can open the inventory and interact with the items you have picked up. For example, picking up a dagger and then equipping it. Then, you can open the menu for a third time and select the option to move into the next room. This process repeats with new storylines and each new items becoming exposed in each room. Also from the start screen, a testing room can be opened instead of the story mode, where combat can be tested. In this testing room, a turn-by-turn combat system is present between a monster and the player. You can either attack or open a menu to equip a weapon and modify it to deal some extra damage. The turn-based attacks will continue until one of the entities is out of health points, deciding the winner. So that's my code, how it uses object-oriented features, controls errors, and how the code runs in a console. Thank you for watching.